Imagine the power goes out not for an hour but forever. The hum of the refrigerator dies, the cell towers go dark, and the only sound left is the wind howling through a city that has suddenly stopped breathing. When the thin veneer of civilization is stripped away, humanity won't just descend into chaos, it will fracture into very specific archetypes. We are looking at a grand filtration event where most will perish, but 5 distinct tribes will crawl out of the ashes. The question isn't just who are they, but which one offers you a seat at the table of the future. Here at Victor's Logic, we analyze the systems that break us and the strategies that save us. So let's dissect these 5 survivor groups to see which one you actually want to join. First, you have the fortress dwellers. You know the type. These are the people who treated the apocalypse like a retirement plan. They've been funding for decades. While everyone else was buying lats, they were stacking freeze, dried nutrients and ammunition in reinforced basements. When the world ends, they feel a grim sense of validation. They lock the blast doors, count their inventory, and prepare to outlast the storm. But here is the fatal miscalculation. A fortress is just a prison you build for yourself. You are sitting on a static pile of resources. In a world that has become dynamic and violent, every day you eat a meal, your wealth shrinks, and you have no way to replenish it. Worse, you have made yourself a loot drop. To a desperate mob, your bunker isn't a sanctuary, it's a pied-atta waiting to be cracked open. They survive the initial panic, sure, but stagnation is death. Then there are the drifters. These are the shadows moving through ruins. They carry everything they own on their backs, trading security for total mobility. They sleep in tree lines and ruined sedans, never staying in one place long enough to leave a trail. Their philosophy is simple: if you can't find me, you can't kill me. They are the gray men of the wasteland, but while the fortress dweller dies from stagnation, the drifter dies from attrition. It is a lonely, grinding existence where a sprained ankle creates a countdown clock on your life. There is no one to stand guard while you sleep, no one to stitch a wound. You can dodge the enemy, but you cannot outrun exhaustion. They are buying time day by painful day, without building anything for tomorrow. Next, we see the rise of the tyrants. These are the people who look at the vacuum of power and see a throne. They don't hoard cans, they hoard violence. By organizing gang structures and monopolizing critical choke points, bridges, fuel depots, clean water, they force everyone else to pay a tax. They thrive on the chaos because they are the apex predators. But history and Victor's Logic teaches us that tyranny is biologically unsustainable. They are parasitic systems. They consume resources and people faster than they can be replaced. Eventually the fuel runs out, or a stronger, hungrier wolf comes knocking. It is a high-octane lifestyle that almost always ends in a violent blaze of glory. So we have 3 dead ends: the trap of the bunker, the fragility of the road, and the inevitable collapse of the warlord. But I told you there were 5 groups. The last 2 are where the real debate begins. Enter the architects. These are the engineers, the growers, and the teachers who didn't run and didn't hide. Instead, they dug in, they found arable land, and started the hard work of restarting the engine of civilization. They are purifying water, rotating crops, and rediscovering how to generate electricity. This is the only group that is actually creating value, rather than just consuming leftovers. They aren't just surviving, they are living. However, creation makes you vulnerable. A thriving farm is a beacon to every starving set of eyes. For 100 miles, without a defense force, the architects are just fattening the calf for the tyrants. They have the sustainability to last a century, but often lack the firepower to last the night. Finally, you have the primitives. These are the people who rejected the ruins entirely and vanished into the deep wilderness. They returned to the old ways, hunting, trapping, and living in complete symbiosis with nature, far away from the rotting cities. They are safe because they are irrelevant. They have opted out of the game entirely. But while they might survive for decades, they are frozen in time. They preserve life, but they lose human potential. There is no innovation, no great leap forward, just an endless loop of subsistence. So who wins? If you look at the timeline, the tyrants rule the start and the primitives outlast the end. But the true winner, the one that Victor's Logic suggests you emulate, is the hybrid, the survivor who makes it. Isn't the one who rigidly sticks to one identity. It is the person who prepares like a fortress dweller, but moves like a drifter when the location is compromised. It is the group that builds like architects, but defends their creation with the ferocity of a tyrant. In a world where the rules have shattered, flexibility is the only armor that holds up. You need to be able to shift gears instantly. The collapse is a test of adaptability, not just stockpiling. You don't need to choose your tribe today, but you do need to cultivate the mindset. Be useful, be mobile, and be ready to evolve. The world might stop, but you have to keep moving,